Hello, folks. Today we're going to be doing another chat vlog or devlog, whatever it's called. Let's just double check to see if I get all the cards that I changed. Oh no, actually, I did forget some. I think I changed these artwork. Yeah. All right. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure. Didn't I change you? Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you showing my files? Tabletop. You trying to be funny? Think you're funny? I did change it. Oh, God. So let us talk about this, shall we? So let's go one by one, shall we? Still got a little bit of that cough. It's going away though. I bought a syrup yesterday. It's helping me a lot. So I changed. I did like what is called a pussy move, and I preemptively nerfed Amy because I just know that it's going to be a problem in the future. The reason why I did this is because I'm a little bitch. So before this card used to be like, oh, you draw one card and then you discard a card, but then I was kind of like thinking about it and I was like, dude, this effect is a little bit powerful because it's like, kind of like the way it works. It's like there's a little bit of like power creep, right? It's like if you like place a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, which is what this does now. What you're doing is like it's inferior to like draw a card and then discard, because I mean, for one, if you're discarding, you are like setting up your graveyard, and also you're like, you could draw into a bad card that you want to discard later. So you're having like better options to pay for cost, basically. This is going to make it a little bit worse. The reason for that is because I kind of like I kind of want to reserve the like draw and then discard for dark cards, and maybe even for cards that have effects similar to like Lavo, which is like you tap him and then both players draw one card and then they discard one card, right? Which is it's better because you're drawing and then you're discarding, but at the same time your opponent is also doing this, so he's also improving his hand, right? Could you not have lyrics? You're kind of like talking over me, booty. Let's go with this. Why would you have lyrics, you stupid song? Luminescent classes. This is a new card. Let's actually address the new cards, shall we? Those are like the two only new cards. I try to keep like new cards to a minimum, right? Because I'm pretty much just trying to complement the color pie. I'm not really trying to make a new set. So, Luminescent Colossus, he's a new subtype of soul. He's an automaton. Like in the lore, automatons are going to be like basically like machines that are constructed magically by the angels. And unlike like normal machines, they are alive and they actually can like sometimes they can think. So yeah, there's that. It's like they don't really have like a binary code. Like they have like they are programmed by a actual living intelligence, right? And their playstyle is that they like to take damage. Like they like to pay life points to gain advantages. Like this is something that like in Magic the Gathering you would normally see like on the darks. I'm doing this for lights because it makes a lot of sense since they like to, like since they are like the only color that is all about life points. You know they like to gain life points, and they already have cards like this in the form of this card, right? The Statue of the Light Barrier, which allows you to pay any amount of life points, and then it plays a number of mana counters on this card equal to the amount needed played, and then your opponent cannot attack with attacks weaker than the amount of mana counters that this card has. It's a bit of a lockdown card. But this one pays life points to make himself stronger, so he's kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I mean, like he was actually based on the Winged Dragon of Ra. I was thinking of like, cause I was playing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Sacred cards, and you know I guess that's where I got the inspiration from. Unsatiable Giant. He's also a new type of card for the darks. He's the Nephilim. Nephilims are cards that are like they're going to have the playstyle while they focus on banishing cards, which is something that darks don't really have. Like no elements have this in the moment. I do think it makes sense for them. Excuse me. Because like you know like they're all about like graveyard setup. So like the next step is to go for banishment setup, right? So I guess there would be cards that like just banish in order to get special effects going on, and so on and so forth. Genie Lamp. I should comment on this effect, right? Like here's if this card is banished, you banish 3 cards on top of both players' deck. So like this can be good for like banishment setup for future cards. Additionally, you can banish up to 3 souls from your graveyard as cost for this card to gain +1 damage, for this attack to gain +1 damage for each banished card by this effect. And he can also stomp you for 8 damage if you have the mana for it. Like, I felt like Darkness didn't really have like 4 mana attacks. They were kind of lacking in power. So this should be pretty relevant for them, I believe. It does kind of like trivialize the Giant Fist, but I guess it's a reward for getting your aura set in the field. Genie Lamp. I fixed a typo where it was saying mana instead of saying mana counters. Metatron. I changed the backside of it, so that now it gives lifelink and flying instead of first strike. This is useful for the angels who doesn't have flying and doesn't have lifelink, which turns out there's quite a lot of them. Since we're talking about lights, I should about angels. I should also talk about like a mechanical change to barrier counters. Before, it used to only be like, used to be like if the card is targeted by an effect, you remove a barrier counter instead. I felt like this was kind of weird because it's like once like a card has like a barrier counter, it's basically like immune to targeting. It's like it's nearly immune to targeting. So it felt a little bit unfair, a little like strange. I don't know. It didn't felt right. Um, it was also kind of useless on weak souls because why would you waste like a targeting effect on a weak soul, right? So like now the way it works is if the card would be targeted by an effect or an attack, you remove the barrier counter instead. So like now this can also protect for attacks for the small angels, and it also allows you to like to somehow like get rid of a barrier counter, because something that was happening in games is that like once a card has like, I mean, okay, to be honest, like with one barrier counter you could actually like waste 2 actions to remove like a card with barrier counters, cool. But once a card has like 2 barrier counters or more, the card was basically untargetable, like it was basically immune to effects. So like now if the card starts like stacking barrier counters on top of itself, at least you can like summon like fodder to like waste the barrier counters, because this effect is not optional, you have to do it. So like now you can summon like a lot of like fodder weak souls to remove the barrier counters, and with that you can like, you know, not like lose to an unbreakable board that comes for free basically. All barrier counter cards have this effect changed to highlight these differences and so on and so forth. This should probably make them like more of a fair matchup, only a little bit, but still. It's also kind of a buff because like the little angels that get like these, like it's kind of a buff for Seraphic Protector and like the Sentry, I think it's called. I forgot. No. Sentinel? No. Urban Seraph. Oh, I hate this name. Bit of a weak card, so like now it can actually do something better. Because like you wouldn't really want to put like a barrier counter on it before, but now you kind of do. So it really, it just feels so much better. Nostradamus. I have changed the playstyle of Abyssos in general. So like now, like before, Nostradamus had like kind of a weird effect where it was like, no, I should first stop, say what I changed. So Abyssos, like before, like they were like more about like stealing your opponent's skill cards, which was kind of a weird and terrible playstyle. It was like very situational and gimmicky. Now they focus on Excavate, a new mechanic that allows you to like reveal a number of cards on top of your deck, and you either place them on top of your deck in any order or you send them to the graveyard. If you send a card to the graveyard by this effect, it is considered as excavated, which is going to be relevant for future effects. So like now they're all about like excavating. Like at the same time that they're like stacking the top of the deck, they're also milling, which I think is a perfect mixture of, like it encapsulates a perfect mixture between the water and darkness playstyle. For Nostradamus, there's 2 changes to him actually. One of which is akin to a rule change of the game. Wait, this is not updated? This is not updated. Weird. And I shouldn't have deleted it. Give me a second. I don't know why, like sometimes Tabletop Simulator just doesn't save, but then again, I was finishing these changes like very late at night. I only didn't record the video because I was just so tired. Okay, now it's updated. Let's take a look at the new changes, shall we? I was going to keep these changes for later, but I guess they came up now, so I guess we're talking about them now. So, advanced rules. Where I should probably put this on advanced rules. I put it on glossary. Um, Once per turn. An effect that activates during the turn's player main phases. The specific effect can only be used once per turn, regardless if the card is a different copy or if the card leaves and returns the field on the same turn. This is what the Yu-Gi-Oh community calls hard once per turn. Like it means that like before I used to actually write in the card like hard once per turn, but I felt like that was kind of like weird phrasing, confusing maybe for new players. So now I'm just going to make like every once per turn a once per turn, but it's going to be like literally once per turn. Like for example, the first effect. When this card is summoned, you look at your opponent's hand and discard one card. Now, if you summon multiples of this card, or if you somehow like summon him and then tribute him, or sacrifice him, and then you bring him back for some effect, you still like you cannot activate the effect again because it's once per turn, and it was already activated. Detach one card from this card. Oh yeah, there's also like this new effect. So before the effect was like something like, if you're like during your opponent's upkeep phase, you look at one of your opponent's, like you look at the card on your opponent's top deck, and then you can declare a name. If your opponent plays a card with the declared name, you can copy it. It was kind of a gimmicky, terrible, and trash effect. So now what you can do is once per turn, you can detach one from this card, excavate 3, and if you do, you can draw one card, which is a much better effect. You're improving your hand, right? Which is so cool because it synergizes with his new effect when he attacks. Before, when he used to attack, the only thing he used to do was like just a reach. Like now, he has the ability where like in flavor with who Nostradamus was, you can guess the name of a card on top of your deck, and if the guess is right, this attack will do +2 damage. So when you're excavating for cards, you probably want to leave like a card like on purpose on top of your deck, just so you know what it is, to get the extra damage. Scylla was like changed, and I think she is like I have play tested her, and I think she's a lot more fun now. And not in a broken way, like not at all. So before, like she used to have like just aura proof, and when she attacked, she could like special summon a soul from your opponent's graveyard. Now, and this is interesting, this is fun, when you play her, you can flip your deck face up. And you can play the card on top of your deck as if it was in your hand. And this applies to quick cards. So during the opponent's turn, she can like, if I have like for example retaliation, I can pop retaliation during my opponent's turn, even if the card is not on my hand. And then if after activating retaliation, I just so happen to have like Sudden Mist as the next card on top of my deck, I can also activate Sudden Mist, which is pretty freaking awesome. Also, like, I guess that's kind of relevant. Another rule that I changed is that like before you used to have like only like 3 actions during your opponent's turn as a form of like balancing. I decided to like not have that anymore because it was too hard to keep track of your opponent's action limits and yours as well. So like now you just get like during your opponent's turn you just get like infinite action values. You can just steal your opponent's turn, I suppose. But it's not a huge deal. It's only a huge deal for light, to be honest, and maybe for water. But yeah. Her new attack uses the excavate mechanic to a maximum where you excavate a whopping 5 cards, and if you send at least one soul to the graveyard by this effect, you can revive one of those excavated souls. So like now she's a lot more better. Like she's actually useful. She's actually a card. She's fun. She's interesting, and she's just awesome. I love her, like her new self, I suppose you could say. Additionally, I also changed how the gargoyles work in playstyle. Gargoyles and Novenlings. So gargoyles like now. Oh yeah. Gargoyles now, like they because like before they used to be like this kind of like weird ass, like out of place cards that they benefited from healing yourself, and they benefited from damaging your opponent, which is like kind of like a weird playstyle for sure. So like now they benefit off of taking damage. It's like they have effects where you take damage, but then you get something else in return, which is because making light and fire was like a very tricky like situation. I kind of like just made something random, I suppose. But then again, it is hard because it's like fire and light are the exact opposites in playstyle. Fire likes to burn the opponent. Light likes to heal themselves and win off of it. Light likes to protect their cards and make an unbreakable board. Fire likes to destroy the opponent's board and kill them as fast as possible. So they have like very distinct play styles, and I figured that like the only like similarity that they had is that they both have effects in which they lose life points, right? Like for fire is because like they don't really care about the late game, so they are just like, you know, they just taking damage because they want to like pay life points to get like quicker like powerful effects. Like they want to solve powerful effects without having to waste too much, without having to place extra aura on the board. And for light, they like to pay life points because they heal so much life points. It's nothing for them really, and it's basically like a slowdown to keep their. It's a method to slow them down from the healing condition sometimes. So yeah, like taking damage is like the best solution for the combination of these two elements. And Tabletop Simulator has crashed. It's back. Okay, cool. Likewise, this effect is like you take 2 damage, and if you do, destroy target soul on the field. I might change this to 3 damage. I'm not sure about it. I think 2 damage might be a little too low for a light card that destroys. And this card, he has like a new attack where, because before it used to be like, actually no, okay, he has a new attack and he has a new effect. So before his effect was like twice per turn, if you get healed or if you inflict damage to your opponent's life points, you draw 1 card. Now it's twice per turn, if you take damage, you draw 1 card. And I just realized a little typo there with the Holy Fire, new effect. Before this used to have like Deathlink and Lifelink. Now this has the like cost where you take 2 damage, and if you do, this attack gains +4 damage. So just a way to deal massive damage. Novenlings have like I have like kind of like changed their playstyle a little bit, not too much. It's more like this specific card where like, because like before it was like if he attacked, like, no, did I change you, sir? I forgot to change it, didn't I? Interesting. Just a second. I guess I can like say what while I'll do this. What was the change again? There it is. Okay. So before he used to have the effect where like he had flying, and then if he attacks, he would inflict 1 damage to a target, any target. Now, it's like if you activate a skill card, you burn target by X, where X is the amount of aura required for that skill card to be played. So like now, I'm trying to make it so that like Novem Links focus more around basically this card, where it's basically like a skill card spam deck, right? It benefits off of like playing skill cards. This card is still the same. I don't think it needs to change. So yeah, it is what it is. That being said, let's move on, shall we? Dryad Swordsman. I also forgot to change her, to update her. It was basically like too easy to ulti carry of her, so I made her effect at 1 spark dark. That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, the effect of like equipping like 1,000,000 of cards from your aura pool, and then you can just place like a bunch of artifacts, and she only needs like 1 attack, and then she can attack like 1,000,000 times for 1,000,000 damage. Yeah, that was too easy to ulti-K, unfortunately. So let's talk about Xerxes now, shall we? I changed his artwork because I don't know. I just wanted to. And I also did I change the. No, it's still the same. I think I fixed a typo in him. That was it. Coughing Dealer. I actually changed his discard effect to be like target player mills 3 cards, and then you special summon a dark zombie token for each dark zombie milled by this effect. So, you know, just a tiny little bit of a nerf and a buff, because before it used to be like any dark soul, now it has to be specifically a dark zombie, but now you also can get like more tokens out of this effect, so there's that. I already addressed Amy. I changed a typo, a little bit of a typo on Hidden Treasure and Lacerate, because those effects are like destroy a card in your hand, and if you do, draw 2 cards. Destroy 1 card in your hand, and if you do, destroy target card on the field. So the problem with those cards is that they were like destroying as cost, which, because it was being destroyed as cost, it wasn't being counted as being destroyed as a card effect, which unfortunately means that it wasn't synergizing with some cards that profit off being destroyed, such as Goblin Stabber and Friendly Troll and Unreasonable Imp. Right? They need to be destroyed by a... Actually, it only says to be destroyed, but, you know, it's whatever. Phelan, she has a new artwork. That's pretty much it. Actually, there is a card that I forgot to update. What the hell? What in the fuck? Wait, where is the card? Did I delete it on an accident? Did I not? Where is that card? Bro, I think I did. I think I accidentally deleted the card. How did I do that? Wow, I guess instead of updating a card, I accidentally... Oh no, hidden power. What? Wow. Maybe just down here. No. There it is. Hyper Palo. So, I changed this card. I forgot to change this card actually. Wow. 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 Unthinkable. So, this card will be changed so that it also inflicts Deathlink. No, not Deathlink. Sorry, Death Touch. Because, like, it was basically like... This card is meant to be like a game winner, like a finisher. And because, like, Earths don't have any kind of removal, and because this card still makes like little cards weak, like, you know, a card that hits for 1 is going to hit for 2. It's not a huge improvement. So this card is going to get like Deathlink to all cards, so that you can actually use this card as a finisher as it was meant to be. The new artworks. I might actually change this because I don't think they're very, like, I don't know, good. Giant Orc, a little bit of a change to him. Like before, this card used to have like used to need a Earth Aura in order to like activate. Now I decided to make it so that like have to pay 2 damage. You have to take 2 damage to activate this card, and then you have like 1 aura less, which would be like the Earth Aura. Pyroclasmic Runesmith. I changed his effect. Before he used to have like Blitz. I am going to rework Blitz. I don't really like how I made it. I don't even know if it's going to be back at all. The way it worked is like it's like on the turn the card was summoned, it would basically be untapped if it is tapped for whatever reason. To compensate for this like nerf, I am buffing his attack so that like now, yeah, he can banish 2 cards on the top of your deck instead of 1, and if 1 artifact is banished by this effect, you can play it until the end phase without wasting an action. I changed Pixel says Pro Gamer, like I changed her wording so that it doesn't say anymore hard once per turn, it just says once per turn. I also changed her artworks. Oh, what the fuck? I also changed her artworks to be a little bit more like better and contemporary with what I'm doing currently. And it's not relevant. I changed the wording of this card so that it just says once per turn instead of hard once per turn. I changed the artwork for this card so that it looks a little bit more like Firebrand, kind of. And that would be it for the cards. Oh wait, no, there's also, I also forgot to mention like the Naiad cards. I nerfed her. This card was way too powerful, and I think I finally figured out why. It has a little bit of a too much of OP effect, where it's like before it used to be like once per turn, this card or the card underneath like could not be destroyed by battle or card effect. I think that's a little bit overkill, a little bit too strong. It's like now it's like it cannot be destroyed by battle. It can still be destroyed by card effects, because having protection to 2 effects was way too much. It basically meant that that this card and something underneath it just wasn't going to get killed. It was like, especially like for this current power creep, it was too strong. I also changed this title revelation to make a little bit more sense and to be a bit of a better card. Before it used to suck. This card used to be like you reveal 3 cards on top of your deck and then place and then you would place 1 protection counter on a card, which doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really synergizing with you looking at 3 cards at all. Now it's like you place 1 Sanctum counter, which is a new kind of counter that is basically like a barrier counter but for the player. It's useful to protect from direct attacks, essentially. It is also kind of a double-edged sword, because an effect where there is like Pen of Greed, where where target players draw 2 cards. Like now, you really can't kind of like use that on yourself, unfortunately, so long as you have the Sanctum counter. But yeah, like you can place a bunch of of Sanctum counters for each revealed soul. Yeah. Pretty useful effect. Way better. It's going to help you protect yourself for sure, and it's also going to improve your draws, because that's a very nice synergy between light and water. Very control-y card for the 2 most control-y elements in the game. I also changed a I think I already can talk about the rule changes. There's like the once per turn rule change and the no longer like 3 actions per turn change. Also, I updated the rulebook to add like a glossary of the keywords and counters. I think I'm going to change this into a table if I can. So a table for like all the keywords: Battleproof, Reach, Deathling, Taunt, Flying, Death Touch, which I forgot to, which apparently it's not like highlighted. It's going to, I'm going to fix this later. Oh yeah, I also changed like critical. It used to be called Double Strike. Now it's just called critical because it doubles damage. It's what a critical does. Now Double Strike is going to be like a new keyword that I'm going to use later. For actually, I am already using it. Double Strike. Once per battle phase, if the equipped card attacks, untap it. Or if this attack, yeah, it's basically like you attack twice per battle phase. That's essentially what it is. That's why I changed like, critical, blah blah blah. Plated, Skill Proof, Vampirism, Infiltrate, Vigilance, Target Proof, Crash, Lifelink, Auto Steal, Destruct Proof, Unblockable, Invincible, which no card actually has this as of yet. Excavate, X, Haste, First Strike, Regen, and then all the counters as well. Corruption counters, mana counters, protection counters, mud counters, ability counters, which can be like any like haste counter, target proof counter, whatever. Sanctum counters and barrier counters. Oh wait, there's also like the +1 counters and the -1 counters. Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah. So yeah, now a little bit of like a user improvement for the rulebook to consult while you're playing the game. And yeah, those are the changes that I've made. Um, Behind the scenes, I have been making like new cards. Like this is something interesting. It's something I kind of want to talk about that because at first I was just doing it for fun, and I thought it would be stupid to do that because like I should focus on the present, not really focus too much on the future. But it was actually helpful to do these because like yeah, like I was making like new cards, like basically like small little archetypes that I'm going to publish in the future, in a very far future. Which is why I kind of consider like stupid to do that because it's going to kind of like take forever for me to actually implement these changes, these new cards. However, it actually helped me in a weird twist of events because it like made me realize that the direction that I was going with for abyssals and gargoyles and novemlings was kind of dumb. So like now it was like, oh, maybe I should just like go for like excavates. I think that would be like a better playstyle. It was also same thing for novemlings and gargoyles. Like taking like benefit off of taking damage and having to take damage to activate powerful effects is a much more reliable like card design, like archetypal design to go with when you're making your cards, rather than having these weird effects where it's like, oh, you heal life points and then you inflict damage. Like this is never like good or relevant. It's like you either have to make the cards too powerful or too sucky in order to like make the cards relevant. Which at this point it's just bad design. It also, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention something. I fixed Grand Arboros, and I forgot to update it. Basically, it's like hold on. He used to have like an infinite loop, basically. If this card is destroyed, place it on your aura pool. Like, yeah, this is like infinite loop. If it's destroyed in the aura pool, it will just return to the aura pool. I changed it so that it's like if this soul is destroyed, place it on your aura pool, so that it only goes to your aura pool if it is a soul. If it's considered as an aura, it doesn't obviously go back to the field. But yeah, like making new cards also made me realize like, oh, like maybe I should have like like the playstyles direction that I was going with for dryads, and I mean for dryads was fine, but for arbor for trends it was weird because it was like these like benefit off of like, I don't know, man, benefit off of putting cards on the aura, and that's kind of like already the elves gimmicks. So like now it's like they are cards that like when they die they become auras, and they're kind of like they will kind of like benefit off of having cards in the aura. Like you can like maybe sack them, like for example this card, right? You can sack your aura cards to activate more effects and so on and so forth. Dryads, I'm going to keep like the whole like equip card playstyle, equipping cards from the aura pool. I'm also going to like probably make it so that like some of the dryads actually benefit like cards that are equipped to them. Like for example, like for this card, I'll probably make it so that like, oh, a card, like if this card is equipped to a legendary soul, like to a soul for whatever reason, but it would usually mostly be a legendary soul, right? It's pretty much the only situation where, I mean, I guess I could like play a copy of it and then equip to her, put her on effects, whatever. But yeah, like I would make it so that like this card is like, oh, if this card is equipped to a soul, like increase power of the equipped soul by 1, right? So now this card would be like at +2 power for having like 2 Dryad Swordsmen. So yeah, like Dryads are going to keep like the basically equip playstyle is just going to be a little bit different, which is something that I learned from my like playtesting of future cards. What else did I learn from that? I guess that was it. Oh yeah, I also learned that I like maybe I should put like one more like subtype for darks and lights because they're kind of missing on that. And then I actually figured like, oh hey, they don't have anything that banish, and light could maybe have something that is all about like paying life points to get like effect. Heck, I could even make like automatons being like more of like an aggressive playstyle for lights, which could be interesting for them for sure. Maybe I could make like an archetype that is like, or yeah, like an archetype that combines like automatons and priests, clerics, which are about healing, to have like like oh, have the clerics to heal your life points, and then have like automatons to like just be cards that like you have to pay life points to make them stronger, and then just swing. Also like for like more aggressive playstyles, I'll also keep like golems be like these big clunking cards that have like a lot of HP, but are kind of like, oh, for example, this card, when it's summoned, it's like it's tapped, so it's kind of like it actually has summon sickness, right? I kind of like that also. Like I could make like different like conditions, like maybe like have like Yu-Gi-Oh like tribute summon, like have like a golem that is like in order to be summoned you have to tribute a card in order to summon them, or like maybe have to discard 2 cards from your hand in order to special summon the card. Stuff like that could be interesting for sure for the golems, and then have like them so that like be like stronger if they have like oh, the more HP they have, like the more they get healed or something or whatever, the stronger they become. I kind of like that playstyle for them. In case you guys haven't like figured it out, each subtype has like a set playstyle, so they're kind of like the archetypes of the game. This is basically like my little response to the card Vanguard, the card fight Vanguard design, where it's like card fight basically has like a lot of archetypes, and they take these archetypes very seriously. Like each archetype is basically like an element in the game. But this also kind of like ends up sucking because it's like you can't like mix archetypes together, which is stupid in my opinion. It's so stupid in my opinion. Apparently, like there's a format where you can do that, but it used to be like the main format. It's no longer so. I guess it wasn't balanced. I don't know. And now it's just like a casual format, unfortunately. But this design choice kind of like sucks for players because it's like, if you like to play with like Royal Paladins, well, it sucks to be you because the new set doesn't have any new Royal Paladins. In fact, they get like everything but Royal Paladins. So the Royal Paladin player is going to feel like, oh man, this sucks, because I wanted to play Royal Paladins. Well, in my game, your archetype might be like, for example, Trent, but a Trent is also like an Earth card, and you're going to get like cards that are going to benefit your like, sure, like maybe you're not going to get like a lot of like relevant Trent cards in the next booster, but you are going to get like new like Earth cards that are somehow going to improve your playstyle as a Trent player, so yeah, like that's going to be what it is basically. So it be like that. I think that this design choice is going to be superior than Vanguard's design choice. Or it's going to be like the same and people are going to complain. I don't know. If anything, like I'm doing it better than Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like where there's like 300 archetypes and they never get support. It's like they get support once every 4 years, and sometimes the support isn't even good. So like, as a WOT player, I'm pretty fucking sad because my WOT cards, like, they never get support. and they just keep printing new like archetype support, and the archetype support, like, dude, sometimes it's so stupid. It's like dangers. Dangers are just like better dark words. It's so dumb. It's so effing stupid. Like they literally just copy and paste the playstyle of one and then place it on another. Or sometimes they mix archetypes, like they literally mix like light swords and dark words for Burning Abyss, and Burning Abyss is just better in every way than both archetypes, and it's ridiculous. So like, yeah, man, it's just, I think that this more like this design choice is going to be a bit more restricting on me, but I think that for the players it's going to be a lot more interesting and fun, so that like they always, you know, like, so that like their Dryad deck, they're like their 10-year-old Dryad deck will continuously get support and will continuously get improved with the times. It certainly won't take as much as a Yu-Gi-Oh archetype to get new support for Dryads, that's for sure. And I will like avoid making like new archetypes for the sake of making new archetypes. Like there will be new archetypes, sort of, like, but they're not like, you know, they won't be like Yu-Gi-Oh where like every set has like 3 new archetypes, and they're just literally just old archetypes but better. Nah, I'm doing something way better than that for sure. So yeah, that's what's gonna be like. And then again, like along the ways, like some cards, some archetypes might like significantly change, as I mentioned about the Dryads, right? They might have like effects that are more like about like, oh, because like right now like Dryads, like they rely on equipped artifact cards in order to be like kind of like relevant with their effects. Maybe in the future I'm going to make it so that Dryads are self-sufficient, like you know, like Dryads that are also equipped cards and they also provide effects when they're equipped. You know, I could totally do that, you know. Oh, also, in order to address like the artwork change for Dryad Swordsman, I pretty much just gave her like a beam sword, a more sci-fi weapon than a sword, because just to keep in with the theme of the game, pretty much. Her older artwork was fine, I liked it, but this one is just to keep in with the theme. Same for this card, same for this card, you know. So yeah. Like the reason I changed like Elada artwork is because like before she didn't have like the elk antlers, which is a huge no-no for the theming of the elves. Like elves in this game have antlers, it is what it is. And Phelan was missing the elf ears, actually, the long elf ears. That's pretty much why I changed them. That was it. So yeah, this is going to be it for this devlog. There was actually a lot of changes, wasn't there? I'm like, I thought it was like a little bit, just some changes, but I guess I've been busy. So yeah, man, like these are the changes. I will try to like update the untap.in cards, because they are a free way to like for players to play test them, and I guess I'm going to try and make them like more like relevant. I try to get more like new players to play my game on untap.in. Maybe I'll make like tutorials on how to play my game in untap.in, so that I can get like more players playing the game, because no, Tabletop Simulator is awesome. It's a great game, but it does have a paywall behind it, and it does kind of like scare players away from like wanting to like, you know, play it and so on and so forth. While untap.in, which has been receiving like minor improvements as of recent, it's a free game that I can use to like bring new players, like play test with new players for sure. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on that. With that being said, that will be it for this devlog. Thank you guys so much for the patience, for watching all of it. I like doing these devlogs to just show that like what I've been working on, to show that I'm not like just being lazy with this game. That I am actually working on this game. That this game exists. This game is real. It's like I'm not scamming people off of their money or whatever. So yeah, man, this is 100% a game. Like, and it's amazing. Playtesters are loving this game. I am loving playing this game. I love creating this game. It's just fun, man. So yeah, I am going to like fix some of the changes that you guys saw that, you know, were kind of like missing here while I was recording this video, and I'm going to update the tabletop simulator with the new changes. And then I'm going to change the untap.in. That's going to take a little bit more because it takes kind of forever to update untap.in. It has like a very not user-friendly interface, like at all. Like it has like a very it doesn't have a creator-friendly interface. Is what I would say. This is something that they really have to tackle on. I assume. Because I am not the only person complaining about this. Pretty much everyone I know who's making a card game complains about the same issues that I have with untap.in. But hopefully they can change this in the future and make it a much better experience for creators. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys soon on the next video. Goodbye.